Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all three past performance formats. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 7 at Keeneland on opening day Friday. The Grade 2 $350,000 Phoenix Stakes going 3/4 of a mile. It's opening day at Keeneland. What better way to celebrate than with a great offer for DRFTV viewers? 10% off all DRF past performances. Use the coupon code DRFTV10. Shop now by using that QR code. Here's the field for the Phoenix. Maybe we'll get a Breeders' Cup Sprint entrant in here, especially if the number 4 Nakatomi runs well. He's one of the more underrated sprinters in the country, Mike. He ran 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Sprint last year, 2nd in last year's Phoenix, and is coming into this race in excellent form.
Yeah, coming off of a really nice win in a Grade 1. Finally got a Grade 1 up at Saratoga the last time we saw him, Dan. He looks well spotted here. I understand anyone who, has seen Nakatomi in the past and says, you know what? Who wants a really short price on Nakatomi? Because he's not, it's not like he's a horse who wins tons of races. He's just very well spotted here.
As he's gotten older, he's also gotten more tactical. Early in his career, he seemed more like a one-run closing sprinter, but he can get close to the pace now. Curious to see where our friends at Timeform US have him after the opening quarter mile, and they have Nakatomi relatively close to the pace. Federal Judge has been fast in both of his starts for Brad Cox. You have to think he's going to be on a go from the inside post. And Swirvin is a speedball getting blinkers for Saffie Joseph. Nakatomi could be sitting in the catbird seat in behind.
Yeah, he's a tactical horse. That could be a good trip coming for him here. Swirvin, it kind of feels like he's in here to provide pace in this race, that he's going to be a big price. I'd be surprised if they tried to rate him in any way. But that horse on the rail, Federal Judge, he's very lightly raced and he's fast.
If the pace is hot, the 6 Banjo Chris, who should be a good price in this race, has the fastest Timeform US late pace rating. Federal Judge went away for a long time, and he came back off a lengthy layoff with a good effort at Saratoga going 7/8, and then he popped a big number right here in this second level allowance race going 6.5 furlongs. He just showed this field his heels. He went right to the lead. He dominated to the tune of a 6-length win. The question is, can he sit from off the pace if a horse like Swirvin makes the lead? I think he can sit off Swirvin.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if Pratt just got really aggressive with him anyway from the rail. But I think he could sit off that horse for sure. He's one of the more interesting horses in this field. Dan, it's not like he doesn't have something to prove, because he does. And he's exiting a race where it wasn't a very good field and he got loose on the lead in there. But listen, man, he's lightly raced. He's got nothing but fast races on his card. He's going to be forward in here. It's not like there's a bunch of killers to his outside. I thought this horse was pretty dangerous.
Hear My Song, the number 2, occasionally pops at a price. He won the Commonwealth at Keeneland during the spring of 23 at 11-1, was second in the Grade 1 Churchill Downs Stakes, albeit a weaker edition than we're used to seeing of the Churchill Downs Stakes, but he was something like 20-1 that day. And his most recent start, he was an okay 3rd at Churchill Downs. Really didn't see too much of an excuse that day for Hear My Song, but if there's a couple of things to like about him, it's that he's tactical enough that he, along with Nakatomi, could benefit from sitting a second flight trip. And 2, he really seems to like Keeneland.
Yeah, that's true. He does run nothing but good races here. And you're right. I think there's probably a good trip coming for this horse. I just, personally, that I have no argument really against him. I think he is a major contender in this race. I just want to wait and see what kind of price he winds up going off at here, because he is coming into this race off of back-to-back triple-digit buyers. And to me, that just kind of means he probably takes a little bit more money than maybe I think he should take in here. To me, he just kind of is what he is, and I don't think he necessarily improved all that much in those last 2 races, although the figures suggest that he did.
The 3 My Buddy B, really special claim. They took this horse for $25,000 over the all-weather at Turfway. Immediately made, hey, can't find a better spot than going into off the turf race at Mountaineer Park. You win by $1 million there. And they got a stakes win out of him last time out at Parks going 6.5 furlongs. He went to the lead. He shrugged off another pace horse, and he beat a couple of useful sprinters in the Mid-Atlantic region. Now he's going to take a big step up in class. He's facing some other speeds.
Yeah, he is. The figure he earns for this race here, I guess, gives him some kind of a chance. Then it was another sort of forward move. These connections, the new connections, have done a good job with him. He's just, he's got an awful lot to prove here with a lot of other speed to have to deal with here. They did give him the chance 2 starts back. They moved him way up in class to see what they had. And he was never really involved in that race. And now they're going to move him up again. And I just think these races might be too tough for him.
The number 4 is Nakatomi. He's one of the solid sprinters in the country, and he was third in last year's Breeders' Cup Sprint, third in the Dubai Golden Shaheen. He was wisely freshened by Wesley Ward after running overseas, and he came back firing in this race, the Grade 1 Alfred G. Vanderbilt at Saratoga. He was able to stay relatively close to the speedy Skelly, confidently angled off the inside by Tyler Gaffalione, and he runs right by this good sprinter.
Yeah, good effort here. Gaffalione, to me, did everything right in this race, Dan. Got this horse forward from the rail into a good spot, came clear after Skelly on the lead. He's just sort of gradually wearing that horse down here. Good performance. 2 of his last 3 starts in the States, 105 Beyer speed figures. He's got tactical speed. I mean, it's not like there are a ton of big wins on his card, Dan, but he shows up every time. He's always competitive, comes off of a Grade 1. I think he's way the horse to beat in here.
This looks like he's reaching peak maturity right now, and he's very well spotted, as you mentioned. Comedy Town was claimed for $25,000 by Safi Joseph, and this horse had run exclusively on turf and on synthetic, and you just wonder if Safi claimed this horse just to give him a taste of dirt. His last 3 starts have been his first 3 starts on dirt. He's won them all, including this race, the Benny the Bull, over a 7/8 of a mile muddy track at Gulfstream Park. Good tactical speed, sweeps by.
Yeah, I mean, who knew this horse was maybe a dirt horse all along? None of his other trainers thought to run him on it. Safi Joseph did. He's 3 for 3 now. He's run some fast races. He's got a couple of stakes wins. You know, I can see a good trip coming for this horse in this race, Dan. He's got a little something to prove here. I guess it's at least mildly interesting. Only one of those 3 dirt starts on a fast track so far. Triple-digit Beyer in there. Pretty easy win from off the pace. I mean, that race is going to make him competitive in here.
Banjo Chris, the number 6, is stepping up into a stakes race for the first time in his career after a rallying runner-up effort at Churchill Downs in a second-level allowance race. He did get a fast pace to run into that day. He's likely going to get a similar situation here, but these are just much tougher horses.
I mean, I guess he's just going to have to sit back and hope and pray for a really fast pace in here, Dan, and maybe he can take advantage of that. I mean, he was on a turn back last time at Churchill. You know, he did draw a little bit of a trouble comment there if you look at the short comment for his race, but you know, I personally didn't really feel like he had some kind of big excuse in there. I thought he was second best.
Swirvin, the number 7, earned a stakes victory at Monmouth Park last year as a 3-year-old when he sat from off the pace, but recently his trade has been speed, a gate-to-wire winner 2 starts back, but no match for Comedy Town last time out at Gulfstream. That was the race that Comedy Town exploded over fast going. They're putting blinkers on. Louis Saez is aggressive. He's on ascend.
Yeah, I think he'll be part of the pace in here. I mean, that most recent start in the Smile, I mean, they used his speed in there. He dueled the pace ahead of his winning stablemate there and got tired at the end. And I sort of felt like maybe you'd get more of the same from him in here.
Millionaire Manny Wah is still kicking. This is a horse that's run very well at Keeneland in the past. He won this race in 2022 at 17-1, rallying from off of it, and then finished a pretty good 4th in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. You have to wonder if he's still getting a little bit long in the tooth now at the age of, 8? But if you give him some pace, he kicks and he likes this track.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, that when he won this race 2 years ago, that's the last time he won a race. So he's on a 2-year losing streak in here, but it's not like he still hasn't run well at times. And I still remember him coming to New York earlier this year, running it over a couple of wet tracks in races that had 0 pace in front of him in there. And he actually ran pretty well to be second both times. I mean, he'll have a little more something to run at in here. It's just a question of whether he's still as good as he once was.
We'll kick off a 50-cent pick 4 on opening day at Keeneland with race number 7, the Phoenix. Let's take a look at our top selections. You're going with the horse to beat Nakatomi. He's going to be really tough.
I just thought it was a really good spot from Dan. And ultimately, I just didn't really like anybody else in the field to want to take a shot against him. But I guess the other horse for me is just going to be Federal Judge, just because he's very lightly raced with speed. And I think there's still room to improve with him.
Here are my songs prior races at Keeneland give me hope that he can get back to one of his big races, and he is entering the race off 2 of his fastest performances, paired up Beyer tops with 100 Beyers. He has tactical speed. If he stays at that 6-1 morning line, I think he's a fair bet at those odds. 2-4-3-7 for me. 4-1-8-2 for Mike. We'll see if Nakatomi can parlay a big effort from the Phoenix into a start in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Hey, let me give you a hot tip. If you liked the content that you've seen before, click on the like and subscribe button right here. And of course, for more DRF videos like Race of the Days, stakes previews, click on the videos right here.